Alright, Mike, welcome to Big Conversations by Ordinary People podcast. Welcome back from jail as well.
Thank you.
I feel like your voice is still too low, but yeah, welcome
Voice
back from.
to gain some momentum as the day goes.
Alright, first tell us about your jail experience.
We're just going to jump into it.
That's
Sure, no problem. Well, first and foremost, of course, jail is tough.
Yeah.
Like, especially mentally. Yeah. You are you're in a place, a secluded place. You do not know if your loved ones know where you are. You don't know how long you're going to be in there for. Well, at least the first time, anyway. Yeah. Because when I was
first time you were at CPS, right?
no, the first time I was in Chireka. Yes, SIU Chireka.
And how do you get to Chireka now?
Well, they it's a very funny story. They got me from home. Yeah.
From your parents or more?
Yes, my parents' home. Yeah, got me from home, and it was a very elaborate operation. In fact, if it weren't so traumatic, I would actually have applauded them. But they did it very well. Like, it was so well, orchestrated. So they used a guy that worked on our water some weeks prior to kind of bait me out. You get, because he had my number. I had contacted him weeks prior. So these security guys, the CID guys, they I don't know how they got to him, but they did, and through him they got to me. So that I think they wanted to be as thorough as possible. Yeah. And okay, they made it seem like it was some sort of inspection of the waterworks that they had done weeks prior.
Yeah.
And they kind of led me to like the backside of like the neighborhood where there was not very many people, because it was at around 5 p.m. on a Friday. Yeah. And place was bustling with activity, but this other side, Manju, there were not very many people. Yeah. So when we get there, man, the first CID guy grabs me by the pants like this.
Alright.
So I was like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Wait, all this is happening in your home, right?
Yeah, the home area, yes.
CID guys come with no uniform police.
No, they're all plain clothes. Yeah. All plain clothes. The first guy nabs me. Then, before I could even get get an understanding of what was going on, the second guy comes running from the other side towards me. He's holding a rifle. He's holding an AR-15. He's coming towards me, running like this. I was like, "Yo, what the hell?" He also grabs me by the shirt and pants. Then the third guy also comes in as well.
But how do they get access to your home just like that?
My place, where we stay currently, it's not fenced.
All right.
Yeah, it's not fenced, and we kind of live a little near to the road, to the main road, Gava Road. Yeah, so it's not very hard to access. All they had to do was get someone who did not know me that well, but at least knew where I stayed. Knew me well enough to know where I stayed. Yeah. So those three guys nabbed me, and they dragged me to their car. And at this point, it's a Friday. Like I said, it's a Friday. It's a 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. There are very many people in the town, in like that car area. So So you can imagine, the situation caused a lot of commotion.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like since we've been there like almost all our lives, everyone in there knows
who you are.
Yeah, knows me exactly.
Character.
Exactly. So everyone was shocked. Everyone was caught by surprise. I remember one lady uttering, one of the lunch ladies who works there. She told me, don't resist. I told her, man, Even if I wanted to resist, I can't, man. These are three armed guys. So as this is as they're dragging me to the car. Yeah. So I told them, man, just tell my folks, tell my parents, yeah, that they've taken me and stuff. So at this moment, all I had on me was my phone and the hanky. I didn't
You're
even
probably from throwing another funny tweet.
Man, I was working. I was working, you know. So I was in the middle of work when like the whole thing kind of went down. So I had my phone with me and I think a handkerchief or something. So they bundle me to the car. I sit in the middle of the back seat. These other guys sit beside me. Then the other guy, the guy with the rifle, sits in front. So so yeah, like before, like I think when the commotion started, you know, like when people started crowding the place, the guy with the rifle cocked it. He cocked the rifle like just to scare off people. Yeah. So he enters the car and they speed off. Yes. Yeah. Actually, they first took me to CID Bukoto, CID headquarters in Bukoto. Yeah.
But amongst you didn't even have a clue of what had happened. They didn't give you an explanation.
Or they asked, okay, obviously during the like some part of the journey, like the initial part of the journey, I told him, guys, I think you've got the wrong person. Then the guy in the front seat pulls out his phone with a picture of me. You know that picture that has been circulating, the one with me in like the polo shirt and stuff. I don't know if you've seen it before.
Yeah.
Okay, there is that picture. It's that picture. Pulls out his phone, shows me the picture with like a caption, "Wanted." He's like, "Is this you? Are you Mike Muhima?" I was like, "Yes, that's me." From then on, I just shut up. I didn't say shit. Sorry for cussing. I didn't say anything.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay. I didn't say anything. I just sat in my seat and by the way, I was also handcuffed and at the same time, like my shirt was unbuttoned from all the pulling. Yeah. But the good thing is the shirt it did not have, you know, the traditional buttons. It had snap-on buttons. So I could easily, you know, snap it back on, yes. So they drove me. Yeah, you wanted to ask a question?
No.
Okay. So they drove me to Chireka. No, sorry, to Bukoto first. Yeah. And from there, that's when I was made known of everything, you know, the tweet and how it got me into trouble. Yeah.
Of how you're a victim of criminalized free speech, in fact.
I mean, if you want to put a label on it, then sure. But yes. So yeah, I got to know of why I was arrested, picked up, and after that I stayed around for like 20 more minutes because it was at around 6. It was coming to 7. So before dark, I was put in the car again with like 3 other people, 3 other suspects that were also nabbed that day, and we were driven to Chireka. So we arrived in Chireka just after 7. Yeah, 7 p.m. And I was taken to each one of us was taken to, you know, the cell. It's a holding. It's like a sort of barracks, sort of military barracks, but then like up that side, it's built on a hill. So like across from the gate, there's a block which acts as a holding cell. Yeah.
For 5 days.
For 6 days, because I was taken on Friday, left on Thursday.
Those
next
6
week.
days we were blowing up Twitter and
Yeah,
sure.
I was
reading your boss.
Yes.
I think, I don't know, one of the partners,
Joseph, yeah,
who's also been on a podcast. Someone I think a lot of
yeah,
inspiration
yes.
was commendable, but he has also been arrested shadily before in his life. I think we arrested him for allegedly hacking the president's Twitter. I think this man was with him on the podcast, but he did ask him that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when we could see him go out all this way in this time, wow, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I saw already you went to Chitala then.
No, actually, man, you know the whole Chitalia thing. Those are just jokes, like
No,
that.
but I was reading articles.
Yes. Now, like, how do I put it? Okay, so this was the second time around when I'd been
When you went back to
remanded.
the bed.
Yes, exactly. When I was remanded. So after the judge had given me remand, I think the lawyers, my lawyers, they assumed that I was going to Chitalia, and even like the advice they gave me was, when you go to Chitalia, do this. When you go to Chitalia, do that. So even in my head, I thought
You're going to
I was heading to Chitalia, because even the guys that I found in the cell were telling me the same thing. We're going to Chitalia soon. What?
Yeah, the more times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was a Friday evening. Saturday comes, no bus. Sunday comes, same thing.
You're on luck.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing. I was at CPS the entire time. Yes. The whole Chitalia thing, it was just a
How
misunderstanding.
do you make of this whole situation? What do you think about it?
In what context?
You and your government. Okay, maybe this will get you back in jail.
No,
Yeah,
I'll answer it as diplomatically as possible.
All right.
Yes. So, I don't think. Obviously, I do not think this is right. This is not right.
Right.
That's a fact. Yes. But at the same time, it is the law. Let me explain. They charged me with an offense. The offense is in a particular act that
What was
that
the
is
offense in this?
offensive communications. It's in it's in the Computer Misuse Act of 2011. Yes. So it when you think about, when I think about it, I mean, it kind of had some merits, but at the same time, does it? I don't think it
has
does.
any merit.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just criminalizing free speech. Like we're all there just writing about things.
Same. Yes, I also think so. Yes, I think so too.
What do you learn from this experience?
What did I learn?
These things, like, you know what? Now that I was in jail for, do you now watch your tweets? Do you censor your personal tweets? Before you
You've seen my tweets. You tell me. Do you think I censor my tweets?
Because anything, the tweet
Anyway.
that allegedly got you arrested was such a joke to me. Like,
Yes.
it was not even
Yes.
coming at anyone. It was just a normal random joke.
Yes,
But
it
right
was,
now,
yes.
I have noticed you even have more brutal tweets against the government somehow.
I would not call them brutal.
You're expressing yourself. You're
But compared to prior, prior to the arrest, I think prior to the arrest it was a lot more, I should say.
you're also a young lawyer, so
Yeah.
you're the guys that are supposed to.
Yeah, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I do not want to piss these guys off even more, but then as a lawyer, I kind of know my rights, so it's a tight situation. But yeah, the thing is, I tweet a lot about a lot of things. Yeah, I tweet about football. I tweet about sports. I tweet about pro wrestling. I tweet about gaming. I tweet about music. I tweet about a lot of things. Politics makes up for a very small percentage of what I tweet. Like, it's those tweets that maybe get a lot of attention, but they are out of 10. I think I can make like 2.
Do you worry that maybe you could be bundled up again and taken?
There's always that worry. Yes, because I mean, They know where I stay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They know where I stay. So there's always that worry.
Is the case now concluded? Like, are you done? Or
No. There was a hearing set for next week, but since the courts have been closed for this
for the
period, yes, I think they're going to have to
Do you
extend.
have any suggestions of weird thoughts of suing the police?
The suggestion has come up.
Yeah,
It has
because I
come up.
think you'd have a valid case.
Yeah, and I can't say, but I can't say I've considered it because I need to get this done with first before we consider any
So
other
this gets
avenues.
done when the
of-
courts resume.
Yes. Before we consider any other avenues of legal redress, need to first conclude with this before jumping onto anything else, which, again, I haven't given much thought to be fair. I haven't. Yeah. So
You're letting it go and
I would not say letting it go.
mind space.
I would not say letting. I can't let that go, like fully at least. But if I am convinced, because personally, I do not want to go back to this whole thing of lawyers and legal redress. I only want to go back because it's part of my job, not because I am part of one of the parties that is taking their disputes to court. You get?
Yeah, but I'm thinking since you now have a better understanding of the law, you can have a better direction on how to move with this and probably put
It's-
these guys in their places.
I'll
Reach out to a few organizations. I think like Chapter 4, those guys who represent people. Who are injustice.
Chapter 4, actually, I have to commend Chapter 4 because those guys have actually helped me quite a lot. Yeah. So I have to commend them for their efforts, like online and on the ground, because they've really done a lot over the past number of months too. Yeah, and they would not be involved if it were not for Joseph. So I also have to give him credit.
Joseph really
Yes.
outdid himself.
Yeah,
I think
he did.
he woke up every single morning to make sure
Yeah.
he updates the world and tag
Definitely,
whoever
yes.
responsible. How do you feel, man, having the whole world support you? Literally, the whole country.
It
on your
was.
back. Everyone has.
It was.
Kind of felt like a superstar moment. Like, when
Wow.
you got out our papers.
Yeah. It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. Cause my parents told me, like the day I came out, they told me, man, you guy, you're a celebrity or what? Cause people on Twitter were why
Do your parents tweet
making
or
noise.
they now
No,
just find out about
they found out about everything. I think they
the
just
laptop? Of
kept
course
tabs.
it had to get to them.
Yes, it got to them. So they told me, as what? What are you
So
talking
what were
about?
your parents thinking about the whole case? Like, because parents are weird. They would probably think it's a crime committed. Really, like
Yeah, but not my parents. My parents, first of all, my parents had seen that tweet, like when it was out, and they thought it was funny. Like they thought the same. It garnered the exact reaction that I wanted from them. So even they were not very pleased when this whole thing happened, just because of something that I said. Yeah, but they've also been very supportive. They've been through the most, if I can say more, at least if not more than me, because all the emotional, stress that it has put on them, the physical stress. It's a funny story. When I was at CPS, I made contact with them and told them, to bring me medicine. Yeah. So what I did not do was what I had forgotten to do was to tell them I was at CPS.
Wait, but they got you from home, all right?
Listen. No, this was the remand thing. So I had forgotten to tell them that I was at CPS. Yeah. So I think they went by what the lawyers had told them. and they went to Chitalia instead. They drove all the way to Chitalia, only to not find me there. Like, they go to the gate. Apparently, they told me they go to the gate, and they said that today is not a visitation day. Visitations are on Monday. And then they left the things there. They left the medicine there, and some money. They left it there at the gate, I think, so that it could get to me. Yeah. But turns out it didn't, because I called them later.
Did you ever pick the money at least?
I wasn't. They're taking it to Chitalia.
Yeah, I know, but after all this, did you go back for that money?
You know how far Chitalia is?
I don't, but I know it's far.
It's outside of Mitiana. It's not near. So when I tell you they got up early in the morning and drove to Chitalia, and then drove back for nothing. All because I made this tiny mistake of not telling them exactly where I was. So that one is on me. That one is on me. Yes.
So and how do they then find out that you're now at CPS?
They how did they find out? I don't remember exactly how she told me she found out, but I think it involved contacting. I think she got the contact of the warden at CPS from, I think, a friend of hers, and when she called him to inquire, that's when she found out that I was there. And that was the day before my next bail hearing, that was the day before the Wednesday of my bail hearing. Yeah.
Were your friends coming to CPS to check on you?
No, because again, they didn't know I was there. The whole Chitalia thing spread like a wildfire.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I can't blame them, because I too thought that I was going there, but it turns out I didn't. Because those guys are not going to tell you that you're being transferred like days in advance. They'll tell you that very day. They'll read your name and you go. That's the way those prison transfers work. They tell you that very day as you're going.
How do you make of the whole prison thing? Like the procedures, the processes now. You're also informed as a lawyer. So do you think it's fair enough for all those other guys that forget what they have committed? But the processes, because you didn't even have contact. Because I remember at the time you were arrested, one of the things
the first time
was saying, you didn't have contact to anyone, yeah?
No. Yeah. Now that may just be. Let me just put it like this: it's the way the system operates. It's the way the system works.
Can be changed.
And you cannot fight the system. It's only this second time around when I had gone to CPS where someone, at least some people, knew where I was.
Yeah.
Yes. They had an idea of where I was. They just didn't know exactly where I was. Yeah. So regarding the procedures, that's just the way the system works, man.
You have to let him.
That's just,
Are you looking at changing any of these things when? Did you pass the bar? Are you ready?
No, not yet. I'm not yet at the bar. Not yet.
What's the procedure of? What does it entail to make the bar? Why is it also
make the bar? Okay, the requirements are you have to have graduated at an accredited university in law, and I think you also have to have like a certain. I think I don't know if the nature of your degree is counted I don't know about that, but all I know is you have to have graduated from MOOC, UCU, wherever, as long as it's an accredited university. So obviously, until recently, there was a pre-entry exam that you needed to pass. So that was the second hurdle, but that one has since been suspended. Yeah. So regarding LDC selections, I cannot say much because I haven't applied. I do not know anything. I don't know much about that besides the requirement of one having to have graduated. Yes.
So what do you think of LDC, man? Because it's crazy. I've been reading a few articles from Fiona Wall, the USL president. She thinks they should bring back pre-entry exams. There's, of course, that people failing at a very high rate, and then the other thing I know about you lawyers is there's some privilege. I don't want to call it privilege. You want society to treat you in some special way.
Entitlement,
exactly. You want society to treat you in some special way because I don't know. You spend 4 years at
law school.
Then you
9 more months at LDC.
But every other people. But I have noticed all my friends. This is why the young lawyers justifiably always complaining about salary and how they're paid less.
Yes.
But in my thinking is whoever with how our society is made up. There are some paychecks that really come with experience, unless you're doing like code or things like that.
Definitely. Yes.
You're getting heavy paychecks, but
Yeah.
engineers are into the same boat to get to really getting bigger contracts that have millions of money.
Yes.
There's some experience you have to handle cases. So, but why is it that you guys now feel like, yo, you know what, I need to go out of campus and I don't want to say the money is fair because no, money is really little for anyone. But I feel like the fact that the more time invested in school, which to me is another issue because I have my sentiments in school, but I still feel like the more time you guys, when you weigh into how much you've spent in school and how much you're getting, you feel like the world is unfair. So I think there's also an issue with how people choose their careers, how people are taking on this, because you should expect such things to come.
Okay. Let me see. Where do I begin from? LDC. The LDC, first of all, I mean, people have said it before. It's a very tough place. It's a very tough place to be because many of my friends have been there. Some have passed, some have not, but they're going again, of course. And it's really tough. It takes a toll on the mental health of the lawyers, even the physical health at times. You know, there was this joke that was running around making the rounds on Twitter from the lawyers. It's something like at LDC, you're either a prayer warrior or a drunkard. And while that is funny, it is a very true sentiment. It's just kind of glossed over, but yeah,
How true though? Because I don't know.
How true?
Yeah,
it is.
There are friends of mine I know that have passed. Okay, uniquely, I don't have so many friends there, but I know there are people who are not neither prayer warriors, neither drunkards.
That is true. That is also true. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole the statement glosses over a lot of people's experiences, but yes, on average, I would say it's not far from inaccurate. It's not far from false. It's not far from true. LDC is really tough. People have assignments. You have notes to do. You have lectures to attend. You have, I think, workshops and discussions. Like there's so much to be done within a 9-month window that by the time you finish, like you're drained. Yes, you're drained. LDC changes people. Like it's hard for an LDC student to live the same person, to live as the same person he was when he entered 9 months ago. Yeah. However, since I've not been there, I cannot speak. So yeah, I cannot speak.
What guides you to like choose the locals? And also, okay, let's first go with that. For you, what guides you? What motivates you? What inspires you to become a lawyer?
Okay, for me, what the initial reason I had for going with law back in high school was I was tired of math. It was simple as that. I was doing Hague and some math. Some math was not that bad, but for years I was so tired of math, and there were only so many courses that did not offer a mathematics related whatever course unit at the university. Business courses have math. Maybe only the social sciences courses, and then maybe humanities. Humanities courses are the only ones that do not have math. But business courses, which were my other options as I was doing selections, they all have math. So for me, it was it was low or bust. It was low or nothing. But then as time went by, and with the harsh realities of this country, the decision I made began to make more sense. Yeah. And with the studies and the lectures and the reading, you get to, I got to kind of love the course a little more, like for what it was, not because it didn't have math, but because I was learning a lot and it was a very interesting course. Although it did also kind of make me hate it in a way, especially towards the end. Yeah. So, but it does that to you. Anything that's worth it will make you suffer to achieve it. Yeah. But yeah, it was the first reason was, well, the first reason may have been a little, trivial and a bit sketchy. As time went by, I became more and more happy with the decision that I had made. Like it made more sense to me. Yeah.
So in the future, do you see yourself as someone that's going to grow up and fight injustices like what just happened to you? Because we all believe and agree that what happened to you was wrong and unjust.
True. I honestly do not know if I will go full time into the whole human rights lawyer thing. I cannot say that, because.
But right now you're in best position too, because you know what?
True, but if I'm being honest, I really don't know which path of the legal business I want to take. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still at a crossroads. But wherever I am, wherever I'll end up, I want to believe that the concept of human rights, the concept of human rights, I want to believe that it will not disappear. Like I will not be so engaged in that other thing that I will forget about my experiences, and I'll forget that human rights are a very, very vital component of life itself. So whenever possible, if I do not go full time into the thing, whenever possible, I'll do my best.
Because I feel like police needs to be checked. Police does a lot of these unlawful arrests and back to back from. Because to me it's a business, yeah. My experience with police, and I've actually been arrested before as well.
Okay.
My experience with police is a total business, because the times, the last lockdown, the time when we were pushing that other lockdown, so I was running a startup in the markets.
Okay.
So what used to happen was, since most times I didn't get time to go back home, I used to stay and sleep at the market. Yeah, because I was doing fresh foods and stuff like that. What the police used to do was to randomly come on the street, arrest people, then you have to pay to get out. And to them, that is all that mattered.
Yeah.
If they get you, you have to pay. Get it, and it's a business.
Yes.
I got lucky because I knew a few friends, I knew top friends, so I could easily get out with phone calls and stuff like that. But then I know a lot of other guys. Some actually went to Chitalia just like that, and some are still there.
Just because of curfew?
Yeah, because of curfew, they get you can't pay,
Yes,
and no
yes.
one comes to check
Yes,
on you like in
yes,
3 days. Then they drive you. The bus comes, they drive you, they arrest you, and that's how it is. If you
True.
don't have,
If you
most
don't
of
have,
the-
if you don't have help.
you don't have hope, you don't have anyone to come for you, you're gone. Your life is put there. This is why I think now, like you, because as I got very happy reading that you're also a lawyer. I was like, oh, this guy would pick some motivation from his situation to actually stand up for. Because no one is looking into these people. And even when I've tried to raise these issues to a few friends of mine who are into the law thing, they really can't do that much. Like, police is so squeaky like that, yeah? It's about who knows who gets who what, how am I benefiting,
Yeah.
to pour money there, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. To your point of regarding those people that do not have help, that are arrested and do not have any help. When I was at CPS, there were I think the people with the people that were there, out of, like, let me say, every 10 people at CPS, 6 of them were fishermen. There were so many fishermen down that side. Yeah?
Where were they in?
I really don't know. It could have been a license thing, fishing, because to fish on Lake Victoria you have to have a license. Could have been a licensing thing. Could have been use of illegal nets. Like, there were various cases, but most of them were license based. Yeah. And these are guys who live day to day on the little money that they make from fishing. And these are guys, obviously, these are men who do not have any connections. Of course, they do not have any anyone that they know who is in a reputable sort of position. So once you see them entering, you can't help but feel for them, because yes, for me I knew when I was leaving, for them they do not. I think the first bail application that I had on Friday, I was in the same court with a few other fishermen, and they told me that for them, they had been advised to plead guilty. So that they could just pay a fine of 30,000 each. There were three individuals. So for them, that is the only thing that can kind of save them, is that they plead guilty to whatever charge that they've been put on, and then they're just fine. But for the rest, some now those are the lucky ones. Those are the lucky ones, because for them they had someone in there in the courtroom who could represented them and also paid for their fine. They paid their fine. Yes. Now this other guy, the other guys are normally not so lucky. They keep remanding them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Some people have been there for over a month, over 2 months, and nothing has been done about their cases. Because I think on Tuesday, the day before I left, there were some lawyers from ULS who came to the prison, who came to the jail, and they were asking people questions about they were taking questions from people from the inmates about their cases, and they kept answering them as much as possible. And the majority of people that were approaching them were fishermen. They were fishermen who like they didn't know when they would next appear in court. They had been there for weeks. Some had not even seen like a judge the whole time. They had just been brought in and just kept in there. And so you could tell that they really had very little hope. And so it was really disheartening for me,
I feel you.
Because while I was lucky enough to have people on the outside helping me,
Some
they
people
do.
really did.
Most people do not.
Yeah. And it's a thing with me as well. It's the time as there, it was really tough. People had cases.
How long were you there?
I was there, I think, for a night for me.
Night. Eh?
Yeah. So I interacted with
Yeah.
until the morning. So interacted, but I phoned some guy in some heavy, huge case. He didn't have hope at all. But then I do a lot of my business in one again. So I know for a fact I've dedicated a big chunk of my time trying to rescue a few boys who have been gotten for probably with smoking, they arrest them before they drive them.
Yes.
It's tough. And the worst place you can be in is a Ugandan prison cell, my guy.
A Ugandan. Oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
I'm so happy you know exactly.
The worst place you can be in
Oh
is
my
a Ugandan
God.
prison cell.
It's not even a prison cell, it's a holding cell, it's a jail cell.
It's
But the conditions in there,
crazy stuff.
the
I don't know. I don't know CPS. CPS seems
CPS
big, yeah.
sucks, man. CPS sucks.
How is it like?
Now, once you enter that place,
Yeah.
you know, I think in many of those police stations, the holding cells are like downstairs. Now, CPS is like a dungeon of sorts because it's like a few feet above under the ground. Yeah. So once you enter, there are two sections. There is the general kind of section, and the other section is kind of down that side. It's called Chisenyi. It's called Chisenyi. Now Chisenyi
It's crazy.
sucks, man. Chisenyi sucks because people obviously sleep on the floor. They lay blankets because they're provided blankets and or mats, and they sleep on the floor. Now, that Chisenyi section of CPS happens to be where the bathrooms are located, the bathrooms and the urinals. Now,
Were you in Chisenyi?
No, I was in the general section because the guys that I found at the Uganda Road cell, holding cell, they kind of hooked me up. Yeah. So, so the bathroom. Okay.
Is there like some hierarchy of who goes to general and who goes to Chisenyi?
If you have money, it's all about the money.
So, but now for you, you were randomly taken.
Yes.
No one knew if you
Yes.
had the money to.
But luckily for me, my mom was around,
Oh, yeah.
and many people that I knew were around.
Yeah.
So before we were taken to CPS, the guys I was with in the cell told her to get me a few things, get me bottles of water, get me slippers, get me toothbrush. Like they kind of hooked me up with everything that I needed. Helped to hook me up with everything that I needed. And before I entered, they handed me the things. My mom handed me the things. Yeah. So obviously I had something to give.
Yeah.
Yeah, in return for
some privileges.
for some privilege of sorts. But then also the general section. There's a general section. Then there's a small cell on this other side here.
Yeah.
That just adjacent to the women's wing, where those who have the money and those who pay, I think it's about 20K. If you have your 20K, you give it to the RP.
Yeah.
And he hooks you up. Like you can stay indoors, but yeah, like without having to get into contact too much with the rest of the population. Now Chisenyi is
Nasty.
it's nasty, man. It's very nasty. Once you enter CPS, the stench from the urinal hits you. That's the first thing that hits you. It's the first thing that hits you. Yeah? As soon as I got down from the stairs, that's the first thing that hit me. I was like, oh my God, this place smells. And the closer you get to
This was the first time you're being arrested in life.
No,
Not
like this year.
yeah. This whole incident.
This whole thing, yes,
Yeah.
it was the first time. It was the first time.
No curfew things. No bad things.
no, nothing. This was the very first time. Yeah.
Should have been hard, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and the thing is, as you get closer to that to to the bathrooms, the stench goes from smelly to acrid. Like you start your eyes start watering from the amount of ammonia that's hitting you. But the thing is, you have to ease yourself. You have to do you have to do your things. You have to go and shower because the
bathrooms are
the bathroom
the
is
toilets.
right next to the bathroom is right next to the urinal.
And inmates have to clean these things themselves.
Yes, they do. They do.
Crazy.
Because every morning we are waking up at around 4:30, 5 by the RPS
Yeah.
to clean, like to mop the floors, because the floors that's where we were sleeping. That's why we were sleeping. So we had to clean. We had to make sure at least we clean them every morning. Then on Saturday, that was when the more thorough cleaning would take place. The scrubbing, they'll give us soap, they'll give us water, and we scrub the whole place clean. Yeah. And she said, the general area, the Gen Pop area was the floor was kind of smooth. It was smooth. She said it's rough, like it's very coarse.
Concrete.
Yes, it's a concrete floor, but unlike Chisenyi, which unlike the Gen Pop area, which is like this smooth, Chisenyi is like this rough. You get they did not cement over the whole thing. They just kind of left it as it was.
This whole experience, how did it affect your mental health?
Mental health, yeah, it has been affected quite
How are
a
you
bit.
dealing with that? How
Quite
are
a
you
bit.
dealing
How I'm dealing with it, well, humor.
Yeah, man.
Humor.
I've also seen you right now you're literally the funniest guy. It looks like when they took you took you out of jail, they were like you're like a wild cat, bird set free.
I knew that was coming.
You're like a bird set free.
A lot of people have said that, and but all I tell them is, I tell them two things. I tell them the first thing I tell them is that, man, I've always been funny.
Or maybe
That's
we're
a
not
fact.
just giving you that much attention.
Exactly.
Now we're
I've
giving
just
you
been
so much
underground,
attention.
but it's just like you, Mark. Mark, you're very toxic.
No,
but then
I saw you say something like that, but I'm not.
You
I'm
are.
some guy who's open
Mark,
to opinion.
oh my God, your tweets.
Open-minded.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
let's
I'm inclusive of
let's
everyone. I want us
sugarcoat
to
that.
go there. No,
Yes.
I really want us to talk about
But-
that because it's one of
So
the
you see
reasons.
now exactly. So that's how I was. Because people have actually told me way before that, man, you're a very funny guy, and not to blow my own trumpet, but yeah, I do know that.
Yeah,
Yes.
your tweets are really good.
It's just that this whole thing kind of put me like on the
In
sort
the
of
limelight, yeah.
yes,
Now
in the
we
limelight
notice
on the
you a lot.
pedestal.
Want to
Exactly.
see if you're going to attack our government one more time. So,
oh my God.
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, yes, that's the first thing I tell people, that, man, I've always been funny, I've just not been mainstream. The second thing I tell them is that, man, in this life, if you don't laugh, you cry. If you don't laugh, you cry.
So, are you now laughing so much because you cried too much in those 6 days?
I didn't even cry, by the way, that much. It
But
initially,
you cried.
especially the Chireka episode.
Yeah.
Initially, it was very, very scary.
I know, man. Picking
Yes,
you up from
that
home and
first
stuff,
night, that first day was very, very scary. But people in there are also human beings.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they've done,
Yeah.
we are all human. They're all human, and those people in there were very empathetic. They were very they were very
Welcoming
kind
as
to me. They were very welcoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me settle in. And these were old men, These were there was I think there was a soldier in there, an ex-soldier in there. There was There was a teacher in there. These are old men, businessmen. These are old men, like grown-ass dads, basically. Yeah. In their late 40s, 50s. The ex-soldier that I was telling you about, he was like in his late 60s. Yeah. So these are old men. These are guys who have
seen it.
Yeah, who have seen it all. So, and in prison, in jail. Let me call it jail because prison is some other different thing. In jail, once you're there, you have to follow a set of instructions. You have to be disciplined.
Exactly. You have actually just that one night as in a jail cell. Because we gone in like very many guys. Now, one of the boys thought they were too bad for life. Like, you know how you get in.
Yes.
Now, the guys in jail don't want to know about your shit.
No.
If you fuck around at any one time, that's it for you. They're either going to beat you up themselves or what? You really have to be on your best behavior.
Yes.
That's one thing I know.
Yes.
Just that alone, because, you have no plea. You have no one to call out for.
No.
It's just you and...
Everyone in there, regardless of what you've done, regardless of your profile out there, everyone in there is the same.
Yeah.
Everyone in there is the same. You have to be humble. If the RP asks you to do something, you do it. It's usually something like clean here or wash the utensils or serve food. Something very simple. Yeah.
But it also takes some level of discipline because you see, now for someone like you who got in totally innocent, you could get in with this whole thing of, why am I doing this?
Yes.
I am
exactly.
really as innocent.
Yes.
So now it goes back to the individual, the person.
Yes, you have exactly your personal character.
Yeah, that is how you survive.
If you're if you're not a generally disciplined person, jail will discipline you itself, and you do not want that.
You honestly don't.
You don't want that. Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I totally agree.
Yeah.
With you on that.
But I count myself lucky that the people that I managed to find in there were very kind people. Like in both episodes, they were very kind people. There were people who were sympathetic about the situation, and they treated me like they would treat any other normal human being. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to that part of the tweets where you say I'm toxic. I personally feel like, yeah.
Okay.
Now you,
yeah.
There's like a status quo people have to follow. Like, you know what? We have to tweet this because this is what is publicly accepted.
True.
But then that doesn't align well with me. I know that as long as, because you could have your own day, I could have my own day. Yeah, we could go very different about it.
Yes.
You could have a very sad day,
Yes.
probably get depressed about your day as something happens. Then I could have a very happy day. But now we are all on the same platform. The algorithm dictates that now I'll see your tweets, you'll see my tweets. I think I should have, if you censor me, you're doing exactly what Uganda police was doing to you.
Okay.
If I don't have a right to express myself
Yeah.
the best way I believe so, because this is what I do personally. I put out my opinions, and I don't even stand to be right or wrong. I'm just like, this is what I'm supposed to.
It's what you think.
this is
It's
what
what
I
you
think.
think. Yes.
Why do you think that's toxic?
Okay. Mainly because in this age of how do I put it? In this age of being woke, being politically correct, you do not really subscribe to that,
Exactly.
do you?
I don't.
You do not.
And I
while
feel like we should be like that because I cannot control how you're going to
Yes.
feel about how I'm going to express
Yes.
myself. But at the end of the day, I have my rights. It's within my
Definitely.
rights to express myself.
that's true. I agree with that.
And as long as I'm not, I feel like as long as I'm not inciting violence or
Yes.
causing harm to
Yes,
people.
yes.
There was actually a time, maybe the trolling, if it's trolling, but it should also be. I opened my Twitter to read some of your tweets and I laughed. Some people's tweets and I laughed. yes, there will be incidences where something is very extreme, but then there's no like it's just open space. We're
Yes.
not supposed to follow some trend or
True. Yeah.
follow into that. Do you think the hashtag was a big contributor to your release?
Yes. I think it was.
I don't think so.
I
think the internet really had to
can-
do its part, but then because you went in day 1, day 2, day 3,
Yes,
day 4,
yes.
day 6, you actually got out, then got back in, so it
Yeah.
was far from how much you were contributing online.
True. That's very true. But the way I see it, if the internet had not
Come into
come into play, if the internet were not involved, I don't know. I'd probably not be here.
no, you would. I think I would still pick up on your tweets and stuff like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But personally, okay. If I'm being honest, I don't really care about the impact.
Yeah. No,
The-
the impact
about-
was there.
about-
The impact was
yes.
also to expose
Yes.
how unjust our systems are. Yeah.
Exactly.
On why they are criminalizing free speech and doing all this stuff. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't really care about that because I believe that yes, in a way, it did not directly contribute to my release. The internet did not contribute to my release. All it did was raise awareness
Raise awareness for that.
towards my situation,
Yeah.
and for that, I'm eternally grateful to those people on
Yeah, and in
on
that time there
social
were a lot
media.
of abductions that were
Exactly.
picking up. That drone
Yes.
thing I think was
Yes.
around that time.
It was rampant post-election period was so many people getting picked up.
It also shows that anyone is just one drone away from
That is true. That is true.
because
That is true. Didn't you see these Form 3 kids who are picked up last week?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about those kids. I don't know what the police thinks.
That was just that. Okay, personally, I think that was just like a Kayola thing. Whoever they could find within that area, just put in the car.
What's their
and
situation
drive
right
home.
now? They're now clear.
The?
The kids.
Yeah, they left. They left. Yeah, they were released. They have to report for bond as well, as you would. But yeah, they're free now.
So let's now divert away from all that. I also know you're a journalist with Kawo Sports.
I wouldn't say journalist because I haven't written any articles for them,
Yeah, all
but I am their social media manager.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Interesting.
I'm their social media manager. Yes,
How is that? How is managing sports working like?
it's fun. It's fun, mostly fun, but at the same time, there are days when, like on a Sunday, like last Sunday,
Yeah.
a day comes, you have no content to post, and yet
I feel like you guys have you've been when Joseph was on the podcast. He
Yes.
said you're now 10 years in existence.
yes, yeah.
It's so much content, man.
Listen,
We are just 2 years, but we
Listen.
have a lot of content. There's unreleased content.
yeah,
There's all this
yes.
stuff.
At the start of okay, like I'm just speaking from the social media point of view,
Yeah.
because a sports website, whether or not the writers are publishing articles, because that is the main thing. That's the main reason why we set up the social media to publicize the articles, to attract people to read our articles through social media. But then obviously there will be days, there will be slow news days, Now, like this is okay. I know Ugandan football is still going on,
Yeah.
but this is like kind of like a post season in general for European football and stuff, and those in such times, in such instances, finding content that is relevant to the subject of sports and relevant and also kind of current is not easy. You have to dig a little bit deeper. Now, for my case, whenever that happens, I usually go to the social media profiles of various athletes, various sports personalities, and I get like their pictures, their videos, and I post them on social media just for the interactions to keep the pages active. Then obviously there will be times when I come
Kao
up
focuses on local sport, yeah?
regional sports.
What do you mean regional?
East Africa. Sometimes also Africa as a continent, but mainly East Africa and mainly Uganda. So, yeah, like I said, it's fun, but there are days when there's no content to publish, and yet the pages have to remain active. Otherwise, Joseph is going to text me, "Wait, it's been 5 hours without content. What are you doing?" And he has done that before. Yeah, he's done that before. He's
I
a
feel
very
like I'll do very, very. I feel I find, because I pick a lot of inspiration from Joseph. I feel like I'll do. It's the best boss anyone can have. But this is just.
I agree. 100%.
I've personally been mentored by very extremely good people. I can't even say shit, but
yes,
I like Joseph. I like how he interacts with his community on social media.
Yes.
And I like how he's built this brand.
Yes.
Because this is exactly how we want to take our direction as well on a few things.
Yeah.
We're doing sports as well with a few other channels. Trying to see how, but it's hard to do sports, man.
Yes, because it's a very it's an already oversaturated
You think? But I think there's a lot ignored.
sports websites.
Yeah.
There are so many.
No, the content, like covering
content.
local sport alone is expensive.
Yes, it's
Kao
expensive.
Sports alone has like a monopoly to the whole local sports space.
Kind of.
Besides
Okay,
TV and
Online, yes. Yes, online, yes.
Kao Sports
Yes,
is like
it's the biggest, yes.
so you have easier work since you're a monopoly. You're already an established bigger brand.
But what I'm saying is that if you keep going down the pyramid, if you ignore the Kaos and the Kratos, those smaller websites are so many. It's just that they are so obscure.
Yeah.
They're just obscure, but there are so many. You get it? So that's what I'm saying. The whole online sports news thing is a very saturated. Actually, online news.
Why are you doing this sports
Online
content
news.
thing? Are you like a big fan of sports?
Yes.
In general?
Yeah, I am. I am a big fan of. I like football. Of recently, obviously football. Yes. Of recently, I've been getting into basketball, like the NBA, and I played in high school. I played cricket for my high school. Mainly those three.
No, cricket.
Yeah, games are the ones.
Cricket is ignored.
It is a very niche category of sport in the
How
country.
How so?
Because I feel like cricket does not as much potential as it has. It doesn't really get the funding, and this boards and this
but
and
the
this
fund
speaks
also
true.
comes from people like you.
Yeah.
Starting to give it the attention it deserves, because then you look for other. For a fact, there are a lot of people doing cricket in high school.
Yes.
And I know all these people still have the
Yes.
love for cricket.
Yeah, they
so
do.
They just need.
But that's my point. Like, it's very hard to find someone who either hasn't played the game or who hasn't watched the game that will come up as a fan of that game. Because cricket, like I said, it's a very niche sport. It has so much going on, and when you try to explain, I tried explaining the rules of an ordinary game of cricket to a friend of mine at law school, and while I could see that she was trying to understand, I could tell that it was too much, it was too much information, because between innings, runs, wickets,
that
all
is
that
now
all that terminology, because cricket is not like football, where the main goal is the main objective is the team with the most goals wins. Cricket has so many avenues, so many scores. Yes, there are runs, there are wickets, there are and also there are very many ways of getting those runs and wickets. Yeah, it's not like football where you score a goal, like shoot the ball
Do we
into
have
the
like
net and
leagues
score.
that go on for crickets in Uganda and what?
Yeah,
so this is what
there's-
I'm focusing on. Like,
yes.
You guys, Kao Sports, are not are focusing on football maybe.
We
And
focus on mainly
Even
football
local
and rugby.
basketball,
Football and rugby, mainly.
because that's
Football
where
and
the
rugby.
money is and that's where the fan base is.
That's where the money is and that's where fan base is. However, cricket we do have a cricket right. We do have cricket writers as well. Yes, it's just that there's not so much worth noting about cricket in the country. And that is due to the fact that, yes, it's a very niche sport. Two, it does not get as much funding as one would have liked compared to rugby and football.
But rugby doesn't also get funding.
It does not get
I was
funding.
listening to
Yes,
Mark's
that's
podcast,
true. That's true.
Fairly Odd Men, and they said man of the match gets 6 beers. that's crazy, man.
yes. That is
crazy.
you see, before I joined Kao Sports, I was not much into rugby. In fact, I was not into rugby at all.
Yeah.
You know, I only knew the names of the clubs in the Premier League. But then that was it. I only knew that 3 clubs were, the big ones: Heathens, Cobs, and Pirates.
Yeah.
That was all. But once I got to know more about the game, like, it was such a huge culture shock to me that a game that is so popular, amongst the youth, amongst so many young people.
I mean, it breeds from the schools. In
Yes,
Namidiango, it was
exactly.
like a prestige to
Yes.
be on the team,
On the
Smart,
rugby, yes.
college, all these schools. Hana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
It's like
there's
the
a,
whole
there's a
culture
very
thing.
prominent schools league that has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Something with cricket, but it does not have as much popularity as rugby. Yes. But for such a sport, for a sport with so much potential, it does not get even half the recognition it deserves. Like half the funding, the media attention, most of it
Don't you
is
think it should be
is close to
privatized?
football.
How about the sponsors when they come on board? Oh, the teams. I don't know. Now, like you've been in sports reporting for some time, you probably have an idea.
Kind of, yeah.
So, why is it so? Why is it like that? Why is it like it's ignored? The funding, the money. Why are people getting 6 beers for being man of the match? Do you know what it means to be man of the match in a rugby game?
Yo, I've seen those pictures before because we take them. So I've seen those pictures before. They really shock me. But why they're not okay? First of all, rugby is not a professional sport.
What do you mean it's?
The Premier League, is not a professional league. It's a semi-professional league. If it were a professional league, if it were fully professionalized, you would not hear of rugby players having daytime jobs, of only practicing like 2, or whereby they only practice once a week, like Thursday or Wednesday before match days. It would be their whole life.
Oh, so the guys that are actually into even these professional clubs, don't take it, go back to their daily jobs.
The likes of most of the players, I can't say all of them because most of the players in the Premier League and also the second division, they have other occupations.
But I know for a fact, even my friends who play in the NBL basketball, also, I know about 7 guys in power that have personal.
Yeah.
They have City Oil. I actually know 2 friends there that still go do their jobs and come back and play ball.
That's a thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm calling these leagues the
Unprofessional.
rugby, not unprofessional, semi-professional.
Semi-professional.
Yes,
I don't know what
semi-professional.
that means. Unprofessional.
Because they actually carry themselves as pros.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just that the league is not recognized as a fully professional league because the money in that league is not enough to make those players like
Be full-time about
full-time rugby players.
Is
like
this
the way
happening
you
for
see it in
sports?
football.
sports for soccer. Sorry,
for football.
yeah, for football.
In the
guys who play for KCC are doing it full time.
Yes.
The guys who play for for Vipers.
Yeah, in the Premier League at least, they are fully paid. They have practices regularly, and okay, maybe there might be a few who have their own side jobs, yeah. But compared to rugby, it's not that rampant because the money in football is much more.
I personally even feel like Uganda rugby has as much a fan base as soccer. Because I feel it has that recognition. I think people are chadoned watching these games more than I think the people that go to watch a Cobs Pirate games are more than the guys that would watch a random KCCA.
Really? Because
rugby is not like soccer.
No.
Rugby has a whole chain of guys who have been following it from school.
Yes.
They've been about it. It's their program.
Yes.
The loyalty to the sport alone is too much because
Yes.
rugby is more popular in school than soccer.
Yeah.
Than PP, Coca-Cola PP, schools league.
Yeah.
Rugby league is more popular than any of those things.
In those rugby centric schools, it is. But then you have to
still the biggest schools, so they still have the biggest numbers.
Yeah, they have the big. They are the biggest schools, but you have to remember that in the rugby, in the schools rugby league, there are like how many schools that compete?
I'm not sure.
They are not very okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're not as many as those who compare in the Coca-Cola post-primaries.
That's true.
They are not as many.
That's true.
Coca-Cola primaries, you can have as many as like what 60 teams 60 teams from 60 schools competing. Like there are so many, and even the qualifiers have even more teams. You get, it's just that it's just that the schools that are in which the schools in which rugby is popular, those schools have decided to give it more of a backing.
Isn't it this other way around? Like Cobs, like a club, we kind of like tie. By the time I was still in Go, this is what used to happen because we had Ngonians playing for Cobs as the club.
That's interesting.
Then we had more Smarkists playing for Pirates like that. So it was more like you have to work so hard. You beat the national, the schools team, then from the schools team you get to the club. You go to Cobs. That's why we have the Chimonos playing for Cobs like that. So the train was as direct. Okay. You are assured. The money has always been little, but at least when you make it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not really too well informed on the rugby scene aside from the league. So, but I will say this. Rugby has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential. It's a fun game to watch. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You know, there are 30 guys knocking into each other, or maybe in the case of sevens, like people. I love sevens. Yeah. I love sevens rugby. It's so entertaining and so fast-paced.
That's true.
Sometimes 15s rugby can be a bit of a downer. Because teams a little more tactical, more cautious. Sevens rugby, you have very little time. You have to win a game within a short amount of time. So you have to maximize. It's like it's like playing football, but for 30 minutes. Imagine if football were for like 30 minutes. You think we'd see teams parking the bus? No. That's the same thing with rugby sevens. That's what makes it entertaining. But the point is, rugby is a very entertaining game to watch. You do not need to understand too much of the game to enjoy it. Unlike cricket, where you have to understand the scores. Yes, you'll have a spectacular moment, like a fantastic dive catch, or a six that will.
I've actually never understood cricket my whole time.
That's
and
the
I
thing.
Used to just go in school. I used to go watch on the pitch and I felt
exactly.
Get bored, go away.
Exactly. It's a very tedious game to watch. You have to be such a fan to sit and watch hours That's also the other thing about cricket. It's hours long. It doesn't have a set time limit. Or the limits, the only limits it has are the innings. If it's 20 innings, you will play those. The time, no one is going to be there to set a time limit of like 90 minutes or 80 minutes in the case of rugby. That's why cricket, like, it's a very tedious game to watch. It has its moments, like for instance, the last World Cup final. I don't know. I feel like if I wanted to endear a non-cricket fan to the game, I would tell them to watch the super over of that game. It's like extra time of sorts of that game. That game was so entertaining.
You'd understand how it works if you watch it.
I watch cricket.
No, I'm saying like me, because I don't
yes,
watch.
You would. Like, okay, even if you wouldn't, you would see that there's so much. Yes, it's so much interesting. It's so much interesting. So that's the thing. Rugby has a lot of potential to grow because it's so fun to watch, even in its normal 15
But also our
state.
soccer is failing. Why is focus? So if you say rugby has a lot of potential to grow, and
soccer, the thing with soccer is that soccer just will always have more fans. Will always have more eyes on soccer. People will always have more eyes on soccer.
It's entertaining.
It may not even be entertaining, but it's just the easiest sport
culture
to understand, and it's also it's easily accessible. It's easy to play, and it's just very easy to understand.
These guys are scoring that side.
Exactly. That's it. It's so basic.
Yeah, I see that.
That's what makes it so popular. It's so basic.
How do you see the future of our sports in general? Since your sports. And you see the challenge.
We need money.
What do you mean we need money? We have all these guys coming in. And they just.
But the thing is, yes, they come in, but then how long do they stay?
Nail Special around 9 breweries is such a big brand to be giving people 6 beers for man of the match. I don't think that's what they do, but that is what
that is what they do.
So,
but the thing about
maybe there's money that's being swindled somewhere because it's a popular thing with our government. How systems work around here.
It is a systemic thing, yes. But then the reason that's why I'm saying we need money is because you can have a sponsor today. This actually cuts across every sport, even including football.
Yeah,
you can have a sponsor today, but it's not guaranteed that you'll be there the next year.
How so? Is it because you're not producing results, or because they don't?
Sometimes it might be, they choose to have these short contracts of 1 year, a 1 year contract, 2 year contracts at the most.
I'm thinking contracts come also with deliverables, like the soccer team has to like bring in something or whatever. So if you fail,
they have to. Obviously, yes, there's something that the football teams and maybe the football organizations have to give. Yes, have to remit, and maybe sometimes at the end of it all, they do not get back. They will not get back as much. The sponsors will not get back as much as they would have hoped. So, in that instance, they decide to pull out. So, the thing with football is that the thing with sports in general is that it needs money from government, money from sponsors, because once the infrastructure, because when money comes, the infrastructure will definitely improve. Yeah, and once the infrastructure improves, and more eyes will eventually be attracted to
but
sports.
I think if we, because the money, the organization in sports is also so much. I feel the Masaza thing has the potential to like it has. I've seen it come up.
Yes.
The Baganda very loyal to the king and what.
Yes.
So they always do this.
Yeah.
So it's easier for. If there's some organization, it's easier to actually make the money because people are willing to buy the merchandise and what. But there's a lot of disorganization.
Yeah, that's true.
It's top management failing to get proper structures to
yeah.
actually make the money, because you cannot tell me
That's
sports
also-
lacks money.
that's also
if
right.
the eyeballs are there, people are going to watch.
Sports does lack money, but the point you made about structures is also they're also very key. It's a very complicated issue to discuss, because it's the problems of sports are kind of ingrained in the problems of the country in general. You get? So it's a systemic thing. It's a systemic issue. It's a money issue. So it's a very complicated discussion to have without making it political.
No, but I don't know how political we can go, but
Because I mean,
we since you're reporting for sports, it's you're in best position to highlight a few of these things, so people that listen to this podcast can actually, people who have the potential can be checked. If we have our good president Magogo, who's also one of my hobbies. My hobbies listen to this podcast
that's a flex, but okay. Okay.
So I feel like if he got the chance to listen to a young man like you, highlight these things, it would help.
But he knows these things.
What do you want
I am
him to
pretty
know?
sure. I am pretty sure that by the time he has worked in football for so long, longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
So he knows these issues. He knows these concerns. He knows the underlying problems in sports.
How
in
many,
general.
for you as you, which underlying problems do you think are in sports in general?
Structures.
Yeah.
Both both administrative and also physical structures like stadiums. Yeah. I'm just lumping it all into one bracket. Structures. Two.
One of the things I know as to why we don't even have structures is because with a government like ours, it cannot afford to create another superpower. You see how sports creates people like the Messis, the Ronaldos, and they have so much influence that if Messi woke up in the morning and said, all of you don't go to town today, at least 90% of people won't go because of how much they believe in him and what.
Yes.
So I personally feel like our governments downplay this so that they don't create other strongholds of influence. You see what the music did?
They do not want to create cult of personalities.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm telling you, it's not very easy to discuss the problems of sport without making it political. It's not very easy. That is why I'm trying to lump the problems up into just a few brackets. Structures, one. Politics, two. There's too much politicking.
Also,
There's too much. Look at FUFA. Look at FUFA. Magogo's running for a third term and opposed.
what happened, by the way?
Who knows? Who knows?
To understand
The other two contestants, Kasule and Sewanyana, they withdrew. They did not withdraw so much as they did not submit their documents in time for nominations. So I do not want to speculate, but I feel like there was a lot more to that than just them being time barred. That's the way I see it. That's what I'm saying. Politicking in sports.
But Alan Sewanyana looked like he was up for this.
Then what happened? Who knows what happened? I do not want to
I'm
speculate.
going to go and stalk our sports for this story.
Yes,
So
the story is there. I think we published it. I think the day before.
So what happened? What's in the story?
Listen, it was only an official communication from FUFA that these guys did not bring back the nomination forms in time. That was the official communication, and obviously, the good people at Kao decided to report that. But of course, if I'm to put on my tinfoil hat for a second, is it really just a nomination problem? Because they came in with so much fire.
Exactly.
There was just so much enthusiasm from Sewanyana and from Kasule, to challenge Magongo. Why then would all that just
blow away?
blow away? Exactly, and we end up having one guy unopposed again. There's just, I don't want to speculate. There's just more to it than just being than them just being time barred. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Mike, let's get away from the sports and
sure.
Now conclude for the person you are. Who is Mike Muhima?
Mike Muhima.
What drives you? What your principles? What do you think about life in general? What's your purpose?
Okay. Okay, let me just start maybe like a short bio of sorts.
Exactly.
Yeah, my name is Mike Muhima. I'm 24 years old, aspiring lawyer, writer, social media manager, of course, at Kawa Sports. What else? You wanted what?
Purpose,
motives.
Are you about practices you are about? Maybe you're meditating. How you get through life, man? You also now have that whole experience.
Yes.
Stuff.
Well,
So things like
life has been tough, but obviously
life is tough. That's a constant.
Yeah, but the past few months for me have been very, very tough.
How so? Why does that?
What do you mean why? We've literally discussed this.
Okay, besides,
come on, keep up.
Enjoy the last one.
Keep up. We've been talking this whole time and you've already forgotten. Anyway, yes.
You know, I've constantly scheduled this interview.
Yes, yeah.
So I was thinking it was as early as
it's I understand. It's okay. Yeah. So considering how tough this year has been for me and my family, I want to because I'm a practicing Christian.
Yeah.
I'm a practicing Christian, and I want to think that God has really
what do you
taken
mean
me through practicing Christian. Like I go to church, I read the Bible. I'm a believer. Yeah. Though I don't really like talking about religion because it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, but man, tell us about it.
It's a very touchy subject. However, that being said, I believe God has really preserved me throughout all this. Yeah. And I'm eternally grateful to Him. And I feel like all that I've gone through this year is leading to something. It's leading to something, bigger for me. Yeah. That's the way I see it. What else did you ask? Purpose in life. Man, I don't want to fail. I watched Sharon's episode of this. She said she fears failure, and
she fears being broke.
She fears being broke. She fears failure. That is the one thing that I got from that. I fear failure too. So whatever thing I want to.
But fear is something you can't avoid. Yeah. So how are you?
I use that
going through this whole life thing to make sure that you don't actually fail. I don't know what you mean by failure.
Like, okay,
fail at things.
I would say
I've failed at a lot of things.
Yes.
I've won at a lot of
yeah,
things.
I'm not saying like failure in the small things. I'm saying like failure in this whole large in the grand scale of things, like in life, like let me say you're in your mid-30s, you don't have a job, you're still in your parents' house,
Yeah.
Personally, that's what I consider failure. Maybe like there could be something in the horizon for such people, because as long as you have life, as long as you're still alive, there's always a chance at redemption.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. There's really no pressure.
Yes, exactly. There might be pressure, but then I don't know. There's always a chance to change. There's always a chance to change, and that's also one of like the principles that I have in me, like that we should really give people a chance to redeem themselves, to change. This whole revisionism thing that is on the internet of going back to people's past posts and bringing them up. You see,
people come and quote you.
Exactly.
This you?
Exactly. The whole this you thing. Yeah. Like, okay, in that scale, it doesn't seem to be too harmful. But then, like, you hear of say a famous actor or a famous football player or a famous athlete someone has gone back to their Twitter and they found like they've found so many screenshots of so many homophobic, racist
things that happened to Kevin Hart.
Something like that, yes. And the media keeps like it brings them back up, and then
Always has an agenda,
and then, exactly, and due to that, someone's career is finished. Yes.
I feel you on that.
Personally, I do not think that should happen. I feel like people change. People change. The person you are not the person you were 5 years ago. You are not the person you were 3 years ago. Yeah. And I feel like we owe it to each other to give each other that chance to change. Yeah. Yeah. We need to give people a chance to
being
change.
non-judgmental, I think, because one of the biggest things I know and now it's in the social media world, is people will see you in just one different perspective. I was talking to a very, very close friend of mine, Melissa. So she was telling me I was trying to hit on her. So I go back and forth and go back and forth. I'm getting somewhere and she says, by the way, this is when you tweet that you expect to have sex with everyone you take out on a date. Then I tell her, yes, I do. I do expect to have. But that is in my mind. It's no bad vibes if nothing happens.
No.
By the time I'm interested to go on an intimate date with you, of course, I would want to have this with you.
Yeah.
So, but it gave me this whole thing. With her case, she's very open-minded about it. Like, we went past that and stuff.
True.
But then I know that people sometimes hold you on to just one thing.
Yes.
One perspective they see, they're like, oh my, this guy is toxic. Like I saw you say I'm toxic, then how can we say it? Like, is
Now
it
for
lucky?
me, in my case, I just made that as a fib.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
know
a very-
for a fact I knew that was that. But when
Yeah,
I came to say
yes.
Loki, I was
Loki.
like, okay, now for you, you have a whole perspective of the person I am, and
Yes,
this is how you treat me, and
yes.
No, in this case, I have nothing to do for you.
Yes, yeah. I understand. Yeah, but generally speaking, we need to give each other a chance at redemption. We need to be open-minded.
Yeah.
We need to be open-minded. Obviously, now there are some things that are downright unacceptable. Things to do with abuse of human rights, things to do with racism.
That's right.
Those are things that are unacceptable. However, if a person who has been labeled a racist or a homophobe is showing signs that he or she is willing to change, and is showing signs that they are learning from they are learning new philosophies, that they are not the same person they once were, I believe that would be commendable. That should be commendable. And instead of vilifying people for what they were a few years ago, we should yes, of course, what you put out on you also have to be careful with what you put out on the internet, because in a way at some point it will come back to haunt you. I mean, I should know. So
You really should.
so like you also need to keep that in mind. But in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah,
we need to give people
the chance
chance
to be.
to see if they can change. If they can, well and good. If they cannot, that's on them. That's on them. If they cannot learn from their experiences and be better people, that's on them. Yeah.
Now, I think we're going to conclude with just
Okay.
one last thing.
Okay.
If you had to leave a mark, what would it be? Like, if we have, because right now we have done the free mic
Yes.
thing, but if you had to really leave an impact and a mark to, let's say, us as a country, the legacy, what would that be?
Let me see. There's a friend of mine who who tweeted some few days. I think yesterday at one. Something. I think it was along the lines of Mike is becoming the prison reform person that I thought he would be, and blah blah blah, and I'm here for it. And yes, he meant it as a joke, But in a way, I personally want to do something about prison welfare. Prison welfare is especially in holding cells. Yes, obviously, the correctional facilities also have their own problems.
Yeah.
But I cannot relate to them because I've not been there, and hopefully I never will. Yeah. But holding cells are like there's so much that needs to change regarding holding cells, regarding how people are treated within holding cells. Do you know that at CBS they used to give us 1 meal a day?
1 meal a day in the
Yes. No, in the afternoon, posho and beans at around 4.
Breakfast, bougie, nothing.
You have to sort that.
I'd
You have to sort
expect
yourself
CPS
out.
to be at some level, because at least I have been about
Yes.
these cells,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
small ones,
Yes.
and when
Yes.
they arrested us that time, they took me to some place in Wandega. It's called Chimwani.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the worst. There's no toilet. There's no what. There's a bucket
Yes,
and what.
yes.
And we're packed, man. It was crazy. Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about, man. The conditions in holding cells compared to those conditions in correctional facilities, the Luziras and Chitalias, they are so bad. Yeah, it's so bad. So, if I can,
Yeah.
if I can change something about that, if I can do something about that,
That's it.
I really feel like I will. I really feel like I should.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you so much,
honoring me.
Mark.
Thank you for
Yeah.
turning up.
Yeah.